Hello, everybody, and welcome to Be Interactive with Popshap. My name is Dahlia Lopez. I do marketing and customer support for Popshap, and I will also be the host of this lovely podcast. I'm very excited to get going. This is our very first episode, and we will be kicking things off with Popshap's one and only, Eitan Magid.
Hey everybody, glad to be here. This should be a fun one.
Should.
I'm happy to get give you guys a glimpse on the content and the upcoming podcast that we're gonna have. We'll talk about very exciting things. For those of you who follow me on LinkedIn, you know I can get wild on those things. You put a camera in front of me, and this is what happens. So. First of all, I want to say thank you to Dahlia for arranging this. I know it took a lot of effort, and I look forward to this first podcast.
Yeah, I'm excited. Alrighty. So in this episode, we're quickly just going to discuss 2022 for Popshap, and then what we're looking forward to in the industry for 2023. So you ready to kick it off?
Let's do it.
All right. So briefly, let's just discuss what 2022 was like for Popshap.
So 2022 was the real return of our industry as far as trade shows and conferences.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what we thought was going to happen in 2021, which glimpsely, in a very short period in the summer events came back. Very soon we found out that starting 22, went to a lot of cancellation and, a lot of this up and down roller coaster. But I think from like March, April of 22, we really saw the uptick in events, in-person events.
Mm-hmm.
With that, we had to adjust to growing our team back to a scale where we can service our clients and work with our partners. We still see some of those challenges today, but in a much smaller scale. So the biggest challenge was logistics and labor. The secondary challenges was to convince clients that things are back, right? Because they're going to shows, they don't see the numbers, they're worried. And the third challenge was, you come back from this pandemic. How do you step up the game and bring more value ROI to the exhibitors, to the organizers? So these were the challenges. If I can summarize 22, I would say the equivalent of having your second child. You had the first child, now you're having a second child, and you know what you're doing, but there's still things that you have to go back and forth.
Right.
And I'm happy we did survive. We did scale and grew, we grew as a company in 22, and we're looking to continue that momentum in 23.
Right. I mean, I was only here for half of 2022, and I was able to see the growth throughout those 6 months. So I can't wait to see what happens in 2023. So speaking of 2023, what can listeners and kind of other companies in the industry expect from us this year?
I think we have a lot of exciting news. If we're talking about the exhibitor side of things, we broke through into the LED arena with a lot of fun digital activation. What sets us apart is we don't just bring LEDs into your booth and say, hey, put some content on and make it passive. We try to combine with interactive screens and kiosks to make the content more effective, more engaging, more lead gen oriented. On the organizer side of things, we've added new equipment that's going to help our organizers engage with their attendees, help service their exhibitors, and overall just give a more digital environment for the shows, which was lacking. So I think 23 will be the mark of the digital age. We're trying as an industry to get rid of paper and bring more awareness, and we think we're a big part of it. Now, although we do a lot of trade shows and conferences, we also do a lot of permanent solutions. And I think we're going to see growth in that arena as well, as we do stadiums, museums, hospitality venues. and we see the demand growing. That pattern is going to continue into 23 for sure.
Right. So speaking about kind of like the new products and stuff, um, what can we get kind of like an insight on what some of those are that we're coming out with for 2023?
Sure, I can give a couple of secrets away. It's not a
Some
big deal.
secrets.
On the LED arenas, we are going to go into the flex LEDs and the
Mhm.
LED panels that are more robust for trade shows. The
Okay.
flex LED is going to allow us to service exhibitors in a very creative way, not just the traditional square by square, build it or you're done. So we're talking about curve, we're talking about corners, we're talking about odd shapes of LEDs and doing something spectacular with the content. When it
Right.
comes to kiosks, an interactive space, our combo kiosks are going to be very popular this year. We also extended our fleet of current kiosk. If you look at 22, the biggest screen we had for the vertical kiosk was the 49-inch, and same for the table. On
Mhm.
both, we're going up to 65-inch because we want to give the user more space to interact. We want to add more content, so that will
Mhm.
be very prominent. We're also teaming up with amazing partners, and just a quick note on that. Some of our partners will be features in the podcast in the months to come, and we'll talk to each one individually. But we have some amazing partnership coming out, and we think you're as strong as your partners. So we're very excited about those partnership. And on the software arena, we are going to add more games and widgets and different functions to allow organizers and exhibitors as a whole to get more on the return from our technologies.
Right. So touching on kind of like the Popshap partner program, um, are our partners mainly revolve around like the trade show and tech industry, or how does all that partner program work?
Honestly, I see our logistics partners and someone like On Locations that help us do installations everywhere where we can reach as partner. Just have to just add technology value to us. I think that logistics challenges are going to exist in 2023. So having great partners in that arena is important, whether it's transportations or installation. When it comes to technologies, we've teamed up with. We partner with map providers. We partner with content providers, video editing groups. Um, but the top of the list as partners is what we call the Exhibit House Network.
Mhm.
We have some amazing partners that are bringing not only clients for us, they're bringing value because we can help them as well in the whole creation of the design of the booth, adding more digital aspects to it. So everyone knows our main suspects or partners. Shepherd has been and it's going to be a great partner in 2023, and
Mhm.
we'll look forward to feature them in one of our podcasts as well. And as we build this partner network, we have to make sure that we have the strategic partners in different uh, geographical areas in the U.S. And one of the big things that we can also discuss quickly is the fact that we're now back into our European and Middle East markets. So having partners in those markets is key for our success as well.
Right, right. So touching base with all those industries and different partners, I know you said that we can expect to see some of them on this podcast. What type of topics do you think are going to arise to discuss?
I think the topics is innovation, the topics of labor shortage, the topics of value to the
Mhm.
clients, customers, added value. When you partner with another company, if you can bring added value to your clients, then you failed, in my opinion.
Right.
The purpose of partnership is to bring more value to your clients, whether it's through saving, whether it's through service, ease of access. So these are the things that we're engaging partners in order to accommodate that. Just yesterday I got a call from a partner and said, hey, I had an LED vendor that fell through. I'm reaching out to see, if you can help me. And I said, yeah, sure. So I gave him the pricing and what we can do. And he said, I'm surprised. I thought you're going to come back to me and take advantage of the fact that it's a last minute. And I said, we
Mhm.
would never do that. We try to support our partners because you never know when the day will come that you have to reach back to that partner and ask help. It's a give and take in this industry. I think the biggest part of becoming partners with others is the understanding that you're going to give, you're going to get back. It's not a
Mhm.
one-way train. So I think that's key in partnership.
Right. So other than kind of like the trade shows and whatnot, I know you mentioned permanent installs. Do we do permanent installs? What is it for, like retail, hospitality, inside hospitals, maybe court systems?
So all of the above,
Mhm.
and I'll talk about the core system separately because it's one of our new partners, ARS. We're
Mhm.
very excited about their partnership with Paul, with the Avatar technology. We're
Right.
going and breaking into the court system. With the Avatar, we're also going to go into the industry of trade
Mhm.
shows. But as you mentioned, the biggest part of permanent installations today is municipalities.
Mhm.
So we have installations, whether it's outdoor, indoor. We have Mayo Clinic as one of our biggest clients. So we do a lot of permanent installations there. And retail as a whole, I can give a few examples of, whether it's clothing or, concert arenas, basketball arenas. Last year, we finished a very large project with our partner LV Expo in Las Vegas at Dollar Loan Center, which came out
Mhm.
incredible. We added interactive LEDs, signage, the whole 9 yards. We think that the permanent installs is a really great avenue for us. And
Mhm.
honestly, we got into the trade show world in order to extract some of the permanent install clients. So when you do a trade show to a client, remember there's a brand behind that client. When you
Mhm.
work on a booth for a Tesla, they still have needs outside of trade shows, and more than once we see those needs coming back to us because now they know what we can offer, and we do get to service them on the permanent solution side of things.
All right, so Popshap is everywhere.
Well,
We
we
service
try.
everyone.
We try to do our best. And people ask me, yeah, how often do you travel? That's the first question I get. So I
Mhm.
said, I travel like once a week. And how do you do it? And why do you have to travel once a week? I have the habit of when we have a new installation with a new client, I like to show my face.
Right.
I'm not a passive business owner. I'm very active. I want to make sure that the client sees me. I want to make sure my team sees me. I want to make sure I put a hand and I engage in the process because
Mhm.
I get the feedback, I learn, and it's better for the next client. B, I'm passionate about it. So I'm really passionate about technology. I've been passionate about technology for 20 years. So we do need to be everywhere, and that's the beauty of the business. And as I mentioned, some of our partners allow us to be everywhere because
Right.
without our partners, we won't be able to do what we're doing for sure.
Alrighty, Eitan. So can we touch on the difference between exhibitors and organizers and how we go
Sure.
about that process?
Yeah, and I want to state, the logistic process is pretty much the same, very similar. Obviously, when you do work for organizers, it's larger scales, and show management has their own delivery times and setup. But I think the biggest difference is the software, right? When you
Mhm.
work with an organizer, you're building agendas, you're building wayfinding, you're building sessions, schedules. Our maps and our sessions work hand in hand, where we try to tie in sessions into a map. So when a user comes and looks for a particular session, they're not like, okay, here's a session number 4, and then go find it. We try to tie the map for it. Um,
Mhm.
Other parts of organizers, is registrations, it's check-in, which we offer all of that. That does not exist on the exhibitor side of things, so that's key. On the exhibitor side of things, it's all about the ROI, lead gen, lead gen, lead gen.
Mhm.
The exhibitor engages Popshap to get more value. Yeah, it could be their branding, their marketing, but at the end of the day, they want to make sure they got the ROI on the lead gen. They spend a lot of money and time preparing for a show. They want to make sure they come back with some, return on the investment for sure.
Right. So if I was an exhibitor coming to you, kind of maybe just on a demo, how would that process work?
So exhibitors come in all forms of ways. The most popular one is through our partners. So when we
Mhm,
work with a partner that's going to build their booth, the partner comes and say, "Hey, we need the Popshap products." We get on a demo with the exhibitor, with the client. We try to understand their goals and what type of targets they have, whether it's a branding, lead gen, gamification. Once we understand that, we design something on brand with their assets, with the branding guideline. We then develop the software. We basically provide a solution. That's the one thing I say in every call. We are the one company that will give you one solution for all. We'll give you the hardware, the software,
mhm.
logistics, white glove. It's in your booth, ready to go. We'll support it throughout the event, and that's kind of the process you should expect.
Right. So one-stop shop for everything. A question, if I was going to, let's say, 6 trade shows in 1 year, are we able to kinda get a package as a whole, or do we have to kinda do the same process each time?
Yeah, that's a great question. We do have multi-show discounts. If a client commits to us, we'll commit to them. Also,
Mhm.
logistically, if we know you're going to 6 shows, it's easier for us to put the equipment in the right place.
Right.
Keep in mind, we are probably the largest kiosk provider in the country.
Mhm.
Probably. I'm not saying for sure, but I think we are. And we have a very good spread of network of offices. We have New Jersey, where I'm at, and New Jersey,
Mhm.
New York, Atlanta, Orlando, Dallas, Chicago, and Las Vegas, which is our largest
Mhm.
warehouse. So that allows us, if you look at most of the shows and our clients, where they normally go, big cities, it's a good spread. So if you're renting a kiosk for a show in Chicago and you want the same kiosk in Vegas,
Mhm.
it's already in Vegas. So logistically, we're saving. We try to localize the business to save money. It
Right.
also helps us with the process of short of labor. So
Mhm.
that's something we're very keen on. And the other parts of the multi-show activations, we learn from one show to another. We see what worked, what didn't work, and we can apply those changes and feedback.
Right, that's awesome. So I know we have a lot of people that we work with inside of the United States. Are we available outside in any other countries or locations?
We are, and one point before I talk about our spread and as far as personnel, the
Mhm.
team that we have right now in the country, these it's a friend bring a friend. We've hired within, we promoted within. We're looking to do more of that. We're looking to grow with good people. We're constantly on the lookout for salespeople, field technicians, and customer success managers.
Right.
So just a shout out if you're interested, please reach out to us. And yes, we do. We support the European market with partners, but we do have a team in Israel that will go to the European hubs, whether it's London, Germany, Italy. We'll be on the ground. We've done so far since things came back a handful of shows, and this year is looking to be very busy in the European market. So we're able to service that very easily.
Awesome. So the last topic I want to touch on today is kind of the labor shortage and how we have managed that and being able to bring people in and to promote our business over the past couple of years.
Yeah, honestly, it's something that us and our partners and everyone in the industry is dealing with.
Mhm.
You just have to, offset the issue with what you do best. So
Right.
we've done it again. I mentioned the partners over and over, and there's a reason why I mentioned the partners over and over. The industry of trade shows um, almost requires you to partner with other providers in order to
Mhm.
facilitate all these events. Now we're very fortunate and lucky to have Shepherd as our main partner, and they're much bigger and their spread is much wider. So we more often we piggyback on a lot of their shows. We're in the kit for about um, 200 to 300 shows a year with them, which means that we can piggyback on their logistics and we use their help and vice versa. We're happy to help them as well. but that goes a long way when you try to service so many shows. And just like Shepherd, other partners in the industry that we work with, Metro Multimedia is a great AV partner for us. They use our equipment. One of the things I like about our relationship with them is that more often they'll come pick up the equipment from us. So we'll get everything ready. They'll take it. We'll train our partners on how to install our equipment. Let them make that part of the billable to the client. If they have the personnel, we'll do the full training. We don't want to hold the information to our chest and say, okay, we're the only one that can handle this equipment. That's not the case. The more we can educate our partners on our equipment, the more they can do it themselves. We become more of a logistic provider. And I think aside from the software that we'll still do, that can bring a huge benefits to us and our partners as well.
Right, right. So before we end this, is there anything else that you wanted to say to the listeners?
I want to give a shout out to my wife. She came back to work after 8 years of labor. If you know me well, I have 5 kids, and they're a handful. You've seen me on LinkedIn with them in different shows, so I'm very happy she's back to work. And one of the podcasts she'll be on as well, and I look forward to that podcast. We're gonna start the year big. We've started the year big with big
Mhm.
shows. And there's a lot going on, and I really look forward to this and what's coming in the 2023 for
Yeah, me
sure.
too. Thank you, Christine. All right, so if you've made it this far, you've come to the end of the episode. We want to say a huge thank you to everyone that listened. We hope you enjoyed this discussion today. And if you did, please leave us a review or a comment on the streaming service that you are using today. This is Dahlia Lopez with Mr. Eitan Magid. And we hope to see you next time on Beyond Interactive with Popshap.
Thank you all. Thank you, Dahlia. Appreciate it.